Justin.
Justin Taylor, 00, currently driving in the Cup Series, Truck Series, and our Road Series.
I'm James J., one of the broadcasters, commentators for Midwest Motorsports Series. I do the commentary for the Truck Series Friday nights, the Cup Series with Aaron Holroyd on Sundays, and the Road Series on Tuesday nights.
All right, guys, so we're going to kick this off here real quick with the happening in motorsports this week. I'll go ahead and lead off. If anybody hasn't heard or listens to Sirius XM, Claire B. Lang and the Dialed In show is no longer a thing on Sirius XM. So be interesting to see who they have fill in that spot on Sirius. Eric, you got anything?
Yeah, I saw that, man. I was a little, not excited about that. I usually like listening to that, Sunday mornings and whatnot. But, that was an interesting news to come about. That's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, one thing interesting I saw, I haven't seen the final product yet, but I saw SHR's changing their logo.
Oh, yeah. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody in the Discord said they changed it to a logistics company. Logo. Yeah, it does look like something rolling down the highway on the back of a 53-foot trailer.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Justin, you got anything?
Not really. Just counting down the days for real life racing to start. We got the real Daytona 24 coming up pretty soon, which pretty pumped about. Get to watch some sports car racing going on, but just the countdown to NASCAR and Formula One for myself. But not a lot of news lately, so in my world. So just kind of seeing what happens.
James?
I did see on X that Ray Evernham and some other guy brought the IROC series. So I've always been a fan of IROC. And now the SRX is pretty close. I like that they're on short ovals, the short tracks, which is allowed them to beat and bang a little bit. But I'm curious to see where that model goes. Hopefully they can bring in big names from current names, not just previous racers, and bringing back the IROC series. I think that'd be pretty cool, especially with Ray Everingham. Seems like everything he touches turns to gold. I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, you know what? That was a cool series. When I was watching it, be late '90s or early 2000s, and that brought a different different atmosphere to the racetrack too, right? And also, that's all the typically it's all the tracks that NASCAR runs that they bring them to, and it'd be cool to see who they bring in and what kind of tracks they run, and if they keep up with the super speedways and even getting them out there on road courses. So cool to see that unfold.
Agreed. Exciting things ahead in the motorsports world. So we're going to do things a little bit differently tonight. We're going to go ahead and hop into the Road Series first, because we do have a special guest who's going to be joining us for a short bit. We'll get to that here in a minute. So looks like the Road Series went down to Australia for the day. James, you want to go over that briefly on what happened?
Yeah, I don't know if you know about Mount Panorama, also known as Bathurst, but a huge track up the side of a mountain. Got some long straightaways. It was an amazing race. Max Bauer, after being off a week, decided to come and remind everybody that he is the road racer to beat in the pros, and led flag to flag after a pole. So props to him. Brian Coxon was not far behind. He had a longer pit. I'm not sure if I said in the broadcast he might have eaten too much Vegemite or something like that and had to make a pit stop of his own. But I'm not sure what happened there. He was on He was on max power for a little bit, but then it didn't play out. So he still got the points lead after a beat down. Jason Phillips ended up second. So I think that's the way it worked. Let's season standings, latest results. Sorry about that. If I remember. Yeah, Shea McNeely got second. Sorry about that. And then Jason Phelps. But Shea McNeely was 18 seconds back, and Jason Phillips was another 8 seconds behind him. So not a lot of room for mistakes between the top three and the pros. But it was a really great race. We're not going to talk about Justin Thaler spinning early, or did we talk about it? I won't remember. All right. So the AMS was pretty good too, man. It wasn't bad. Couple of guys had a hard time getting grips of the track, but I will say that the guys that kept it off the wall, kept it going straight, were the guys that ended up having better runs. And Jelly Belly Michael O'Delly ended up with the win. Justin Glickner was about another 45 seconds behind. So Michael O'Dell was in the lead with the pros, kept up pace with the pros for the first maybe 20 minutes or so, and then decided not to push it after a couple close calls, backed it down. 5 cars ended up on the lead lap, including Dustin Reinstedel, ended up with the top 5 and a 0X at Mount Panorama, as close as those walls are. Anybody can tell you that that's pretty hard to get a 0X at Mount Panorama for an hour. So props to Dustin Reinstedel. That's about it. Christopher Hopper did okay. He ended up with the top 10 in class. He was 2 laps down. Had a good race, and it was good to see him back in his purple paint job. So anyway, it was a great race at Mount Panorama. I'm looking forward to the long Nordschleife in Germany, one of the longest tracks in all of motorsports, the green hell they call it. You're not going to want to miss it tomorrow night, 7 p.m. About a 9-minute lap, even for the pros. So single file almost everywhere. It's going to be hard to pass without pushing somebody off. I mean, pushing somebody off, not making them mad. So hopefully everybody will bring their wits and their calm demeanor with them tomorrow as they try to tackle the green hell. That's all I got for the road series.
Yeah, thanks for the rundown, man. Yeah, I got to see I'd say about 50 to 60% of that race. It looked like some hard racing, and it takes a good set to go down that windy, twisty hill, and keep it in the lines there. So, real briefly here, I'm going to touch up on the current road series points for the pro standings. Max Bauer is still in the lead. Looks like he has 3,389 total points. Jason Phillips is in second, 549 points behind the leader. Joshua Bloom is in third. Looks like he is 1,293 points behind the leader. Steve Hansel is in fourth, 1,373 points behind the leader. And Justin Failer is in fifth, 1,479 points. If you did hear last week, I did learn that points gap is possible to come back from that. So it's something to keep an eye on throughout the season, the remainder of the season, see if any ground can be made up on Max there in the lead. For the AM drivers, Sam Hubbard has the current points lead with 2,386 points. David Wortman in second, 406 points behind the leader. Justin Gleckner in third, 441 points behind the leader. Michael Odell fourth, 622 points behind the leader, and Taylor Montague in fifth, 994 points. So there's a little bit closer racing there, I'd say, in the AM than what we're seeing in the pro, but both you should be able to make points up on. James, are you looking for anything down the stretch here? Any surprises or anything to come out of it?
There's always expecting surprises. So yes, I am expecting surprises, but I also want to keep everybody grounded that there are 2 drop races that aren't really counted in those points. with 250 points for a win, 220 for second. So a 30-point gap is not a huge amount. So like I say, don't let the 300-point gap scare you without knowing what everybody's drop races are. So I'll work a little bit more on making sure that next week we're prepared with what a real points is with 2 drop races. We'll drop everybody's 2 worst performances, and then we'll have a more realistic view as they go into race 18 of 20. So it's 18 points races counting, and then 2 races left. Then we'll really know who has to do what in order to move up a spot or take over Max.
All right. So I'm going to hand this over to JT real quick. Go ahead, Jay.
All right, so our special guest tonight is a gentleman that goes by the name Chris Hopper. Chris does a lot of things. He's an author. He has his own fan club. Does a lot of cool things in his personal life and his career path. But he joined us a couple seasons ago, and admittedly was like, "Hey, I'm brand new to iRacing. I'm going to be, maybe a hazard. But." He really shows how great our community is and how well other drivers help each other. I've seen throughout the couple of seasons that from where he started to where he is now, he's made leaps and bounds. He puts in the time to practice. He asks the questions, but I think most importantly, he's just a great member to our community. So wanted to have him tonight as a special guest. So hey, Chris, you got us? Not sure if he can.
I think I have permission
there,
now.
There you are, buddy. How you doing?
What an introduction. I am so honored. And I just a minor correction, I am still a hazard. So
No. No, man. I don't honestly think I did you any justice whatsoever, but I just wanted to give you, the proper shout out and appreciation. You're a great dude here. You're hilarious. In the chat channels here in Discord, and just as I've kind of talked with you more and more over these past couple of weeks, and kind of gotten to know you, and just shoot the shit, so to speak. Super good dude. Super humble, and to me that means a lot. And I'm really glad that David Wortman was able to pull you back here to Midwest, and hopefully you're here to stay.
I am definitely here to stay as long as you guys will have me. Big shout out to David. He is a legend and a very dear friend. And Justin, thanks for those words. I'm like blushing here, and I can't tell if it's the tequila or just your pheromones. I don't know, but thank you for all that. Wow.
If you can smell me from Ohio, New York, maybe I need to get a shower. I don't know. But Anthony, if you want to kick it off, if you've got something, I'll pass it back to you, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. Question for you.
Yeah.
How? Oh man, it's going great. What I guess made you get into iRacing, or where did you find that I guess drive to get into iRacing?
I like that pun. That was clever. So I think this journey for me, honestly, started very young. I've always been ultra competitive, and typically more of like guy versus the machine or guy versus the element sport. I tried soccer, and I loved being a part of the team, but I wasn't a great soccer player. Same with baseball, same with basketball. But if you put me in a solo sailboat racing in a regatta, rock climbing, running, anything, bicycle, like anything that was me versus the machine, I just love that. I thrive with it. Got into RC planes very young with my dad, who was a championship RC pilot and then a real life pilot as well. And and then eventually that took me into FPV racewing, competitive racewing flying. So picture, FPV goggles on your head, with a camera in the bow of this little tiny delta wing, and we'd fly these at 100+ miles an hour through a course. It's awesome. Like, it is that adrenaline. You know, your hands are shaking in a race, and it's the best. Plus community, and I really grew fond of that community. However, COVID kind of did its thing, shut a lot of that stuff down. But it also coincided with this fact that I was repairing more than I was racing, and practicing every day, and then every other day you'd have a catastrophic failure and have to go in and spend hours on the bench. And it was at the same time that I discovered Drive to Survive. And funny that I haven't watched that show since that opening season, but it just reignited that spark of motor racing again, and competition that I'd grown up with. And it quickly morphed. Like, I couldn't get enough F1, so then I'm into GT, and then I'm into, WEC and IMSA and all this stuff. And of course, my brain goes, wait, there's got to be sim racing. And of course, there's sim racing. There's always been sim racing, but not to the level I was aware of. And when I saw iRacing, I was like, oh, this is it. Like, this is going to be my thing. Because it had the community, at least I thought. It had the gear, so I could nerd out on hardware. And it had the racing. And the best part is, if I hit something, I just hit reset. Relatively speaking, not in official races, not in league races, I get it. But the point being, I wasn't going to spend all this time repairing. I could actually do the thing I loved, which was being in community and racing. And so that was a year ago this month, believe it or not. I had bought my iRacing membership 6 months before I was able to use it, because I still hadn't built a damn PC. And anyway, built the PC, launch in January. David is holding my hand from his home several states away, and I am just like, I suck, but I love this. And I still feel that way. And the very next thing he talked about, like within week 1, he's like, dude, get some officials under your belt, kind of get your feet wet, but you have to go league racing. In fact, I'm going to rejoin this league when you want to, and we'll do it together. And he would not stop talking about you guys. Like, it was irritating. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Infectious.
Well said. And so anyway, I can honestly say that the highlight of my week is Tuesday nights. And there is, honestly, it's me and the guys on the road trying to be good, trying to stay clean, learn the new thing here and there. And I absolutely love it. So as long as this league is open, I'm in it. And that you heard it here first, folks.
Nice. Well, I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear, man. James, you have a question for Chris?
Hey, Chris Hopper, thanks for joining us tonight, man. It's been a real pleasure calling you out on the track and seeing all the stuff that you do in the Discord and stuff, and just your sense of community. It really shows with your interactions and your willingness to help. So first of all, I want to give you props for that.
Thanks, brother.
Second of all, I want to know when you find time to sleep, because, dude, you're into everything. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Your wife is a professional musician and artist on her own right, and I know that you support her in multiple different ways. But, like, when do you find time to sleep?
Probably not as much as I need. Life is too wonderful and too short to let slip by. So, yeah, we're busy. We're a busy family, but we love it. I think we've always been that way, and we want to be where the action is. And if there's no action, we're gonna make it. So let's do it.
So for those who don't know, I will tell you that I'm a member of the Christopher Hopper Fan Club. I'm holding on to my poker chip now. I'm spinning it around on my table. And
Come on.
Yep. And if you don't know, I'm sure you've heard of Dragon Con and all these other Max conventions. Christopher Hopper has HopperCon, which is coming up, I believe, or is it going on now? Chris, fill us in on HopperCon and what that is with
Man,
your book.
you're such a legend. I can't believe you're so cool bringing this stuff
A
up.
convention, a Chris Hopper convention, man. Come on.
So HopperCon, its second year is coming up in July up here in the Thousand Islands. It started last summer as basically a reader con for all my readers and listeners. Honestly, it was just a response to a bunch of people saying, "Hey, can we get together? We'd love to all meet up." And apparently, and I didn't really know this, but there's kind of a tradition of authors and voice actors holding these little festivals. And again, COVID shut those things down. So a really good friend of mine up in Toronto just said, "Hey, listen, if you're gonna do that, like, if there's any author who needs to do this, it's you." Which I was very humbled by him saying that. But it took about 6 months, and I was like, "All right, let's just try it, see what happens." Well, the doors blew off the place, and people were already asking when the next one was going to be. So yeah, this is going to be the second annual, and it's live performances, radio theater, live music, campfires till 3 in the morning, and boat tours in the Thousand Islands and Bolt Castle, and it's just so much fun to hang out with this community. And people come from all over the U.S., Canada, the U.K., Europe, Australia, and it's pretty exciting. So good times.
Chris, I have a question about the boat tour. Are you guiding it?
It just depends upon if I've had whiskey or not.
Okay. If you are, will you be piloting it wearing your nice tidy whities that you took for the fun picture a couple weeks ago?
I knew that was coming.
Oh, that was so funny.
Shout out to Jason Phillips. What a legend that guy is. And yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, I forget what the original joke was. Something about racing in your underwear or something. And I was like, oh, like when I get home, I'm going to just go down, sit in my rig, and have a picture taken of just me sitting in my underwear. No joke. I mean, this is at like, I don't know what, 9:30, 10 in the morning on a weekday.
Yep.
Next alert I get from Discord is there's Chris giving a peace sign, sitting in a sim rig in his underwear. So it snowballed from there, and everybody's howling about it. It was absolutely hilarious, but it snowballed to where it was the Long Beach race that Jason Phillips had that image of Chris in his underwear on the side of his car so he could ride along with him all over the track, and it was hilarious. And I appreciate the great attitude and the comedy that you bring as well. So it's just awesome having you in here with us.
It made it on the live stream too. We made sure that Colin got a great couple shots of it and freeze framed on it for you too.
And the line I think was yours, bro. I think you something like, "And there's Christopher Hopper in his underwear, just what everybody wanted to see in their living rooms tonight."
That's right.
Oh man.
Well, hey Chris, inquiring minds want to know when you're gonna strap in on an oval car. I know you got a taste of it in the Watkins Glen Fun Run, but what'd you think of the Cup car, and when you're gonna do a race with only left turns?
Listen, I had so much fun in that car. I was scared to death the whole time. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna lose the car in every turn, and I apologize again to anybody that I just took out. It was not malicious, but but I had a blast. And like truly, I told Keith Hurlbut, who's a big shout out to him. He's with another league, doing oval, but he joined Midwest here, and I think we're trying to get him all the way in. That's my goal, is all the way in. But he's a big oval racer, and I'm like, Keith, I get it. Like, this is fun. So to answer your question, I'm down. I'm down to try it. I just need a coach. That's all I'll say.
We got plenty of those that can help you out.
Okay, and they need to be in their underwear. That's the only other thing.
Justin?
I don't know, man. I got a nice cool basement I'm chilling in. I don't need to cool off anymore. I'm already am. So
wait, let's go back. Justin, let's go back. I did not know that you were gonna take a picture too. I'm I kind of feel gypped now. Like, how come we don't get to see that one? Who's with me?
Well, I can't.
Nope.
You did it, and then it's like oh well, now he's just doing it for attention because Chris Hopper got attention because he did it. I can't. You can't follow that up, dude. What am I supposed to do? How do I top that?
Some things are better left unseen. Maybe with
Yes, exactly.
leave it to your imagination. How about that?
We'll just give you the glory, Chris. You earned it. You deserve it.
Oh God.
Drop the mic.
Walk away. Just walk away.
So, Chris, is there a road car that you prefer more so than another currently?
In GT4 or just in general?
In general, like in your practice sessions or anything, is there anything you enjoy running more so than another road car?
Man, I really like the Porsche Cup car. And I'm my love for the GT4 Porsche is not as high as it was a season ago. So it's quickly I'm looking for another contract. We'll just put it that way for next season. But that said, the Cup car really is a lot of fun. I enjoy it. The Radical SR8, when we did that little fun run at the Roval, I had not driven that before. I'd seen a lot on YouTube about it. That was a blast. And I do like a lot of the prototype cars, the LMP3 and 2. I love things with downforce. So, but yeah, I mean, I think if I had to say the Cup car on the Nürburgring Nordschleife is one of my favorite combos.
Hey, the lunatic. Oh man.
What was that, Jay?
The Cup car at the Nordschleife.
Porsche Cup or NASCAR Cup?
Okay.
Porsche.
At first, I was like, the NASCAR Next Gen Cup? I was like, hey, you're crazy, man.
I'm
That
not
thing's
that
blowing up on
insane.
the straight stretch.
We do get to see you on the Nordschleife tomorrow, Chris. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for all those interested. The road series is at the Nordschleife. Come watch Christopher Hopper grapple his Porsche around the Nordschleife, right?
Yes, sir. I'm feeling clean. I'm feeling confident, feeling clean, but knocking on wood as I say that.
0x. Is that what you said?
Believe it or not, I have done several 0x races on the Nordschleife. So, I don't know if tomorrow night will be one because there's some crazy drivers out there, but I'm going to give it my best.
So
we'll be watching.
So let me ask real quick. So, the other weekend, Steve and I kind of talked you into doing one of the official races, the Michelin Pilot Challenge that runs for 2 hours at Daytona. It was at Daytona. Now, you said you had a lot of fun doing that. You said it kind of tested your endurance abilities and everything else. So, do you think that you might jump in the Roar this week?
Oh, I really think I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I had so much fun with you guys, and I'm very appreciative of you kind of twisting my arm. I didn't think I could sit still for 2 hours, but we did it. I had a ball talking to you guys. Learned a lot for sure. I'm just gonna tell you though, I am definitely apprehensive about the traffic and which car to get in. I ran a test. What was the was the IMSA or the whatever the challenge is there at Daytona again, and I took out the LMP3, and it was a handful in all that traffic, and I'm pretty good with it, and I was a little scared. So maybe I need some coaching here on the podcast. Like, where do I go? What do I do? What's my game plan, guys?
Well, you've got 3 options: TCR, GT4, or LMP3. If you're LMP3, you only have to worry about the LMP3s that are faster than you passing you, but you're going to have to manage the GT4 and the TCR traffic.
Mm-hmm.
If you're GT4, you're really only going to have to worry about, again, it's kind of the same scenario situation. So you'll either, if you're GT4, you're going to have to deal with LMPs that are faster, obviously, just by nature, and then anybody running GT4s faster, but then you're going to have to manage the slower traffic of the TCR. If you're going to run the TCR, like a bunch of us are, you're kind of screwed either way. You're going to get passed by everything. But it also gives you good practice for traffic management. I mean, you can't get better at it if you don't just go for it, right?
Yeah, except I'm already down like one entire safety rating point. So
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a gamble. It's a gamble for sure.
does that really matter? Once you're so committed to a league, does safety rating and I rating really matter if your tattoo says Midwest Motorsports?
No, not at all.
Okay,
Not at all.
there you go.
You'll be all right.
All right. Put me in, coach.
Well, I hope to see you. We're all running the Friday 5 p.m. time slot.
Right.
So
All right. Whew. Okay, I'm not gonna say full on committal, but I'm leaning that direction.
right on.
Okay.
I hope to see you. I hope you sign up and dip your toes again back into those longer races, because they can be a lot of fun, and they really test your, at that point it's almost testing your own abilities.
Yeah. Well, listen, I will say that immediately I went back to, I was talking to David, Eric Hagley, Keith Hurlbutt, and Francis, and was like, hey guys, why don't we like field a team for Nürburgring 24 or Le Mans or whatever. It definitely piqued my interest. So you popped my cherry, JT.
Good. That's good to hear. It's just the beginning, man.
All right, Eric, you got anything for Chris?
Yeah, I got a few questions for you, buddy. So before we close it out or whatnot, obviously you gotta listen to the older, better looking and brighter Thaylors. So
Here we go.
yeah. So I guess number one, what is it that you enjoy about this league and keeps you coming back?
I think it's probably two. No, I'm going to say three things. The first is it's the best racing. And when I say it's the best racing, I mean you're with guys who you're getting to know week in and week out. So you're learning their strengths and weaknesses. You're learning who your race is against and who it isn't against, which I think is a huge component. Like a lot of guys are trying to race people that are just clearly way out of their league, and they're holding them up. And I'm like, dude, just lift, let them by. You're not winning anything here. And if anything, you're hurting your race and theirs. So that's just basic logic. But being in Midwest lets that kind of, if you're self-aware and you're observant, you see that right away. And so then you're developing rivalries, and you're watching the points, which I can't believe that you guys keep track of all this information, by the way, which is what I'll get to in a second. But so first of all, it's the racing, the consistency, the fact that everybody really does give a damn, and they're all trying to work on their craft, do their best. And the people that don't have that sense of camaraderie and we're really rooting for each other, but we also want to win. If you don't have both of those things in tension, you don't last long. And I think that's what we've seen is people come and go. And it's not because of, I think, lack of interest. I think it's because of it's a lack of understanding the culture. And you guys have, for whatever magic reason, you've created and managed to foster a culture that facilitates that kind of stewardship among all those who are being competitive with one another. And so I love that, which leads me into number two, which is you guys. Like this team, you're all volunteers, to my knowledge. I don't think anybody, well, Justin, I know, makes six figures on this league, but everybody else is a volunteer. But
yeah.
Oh, was I not supposed to say that? Damn it.
Well, the cat's out now. You got to write a book for me too.
Yep. So, coming to a theater near you, Justin in his underwear. But the fact that you guys I think you, every time we thank you, you kind of write it off. But I don't think that's really, like, anybody who's watching goes, oh damn, this is a lot of time. Like you guys care about this. And it shows in your posts, it shows in your rules and regs, it shows in the calendar, it shows in the polls. It shows that like I was just talking to another guy who's pissed off with his league because they have rules that they don't follow. And you guys actually, if this is the rule, even if it's a bad rule, we're going to stick by it because that's what rules are. And if we need to change them, we will. But at present, this is what keeps us from going into total anarchy. So anyway, you guys, you do that. And that helps create the ethos of this league. And then the third component is just the community. Like people are active. And I think I even said that to somebody who joined, like they were wondering if they should be there or if they were too new or this is more pressure than officials. I was like, dude, one of the things is just be engaged. And I think you see that in Discord. Like anybody that's, they're responding to posts, they're leaving an emoji, they're talking in practices and not being weird or anything, but just themselves. And I think it's those people that you're like, this is one of us. He's one of us, And here we are as a team and a community. That's what I come back for. So those three components, that's the trifecta for me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome because when Justin and I set out to do this and create this league, that was primarily the three things that we were looking for. So, to have you as a member recite those, it's fairly amazing, right? So, that's awesome, Chris. But the last question I have for you, man, is like anything, man. What can we do better? Like, what can we do to make it more enjoyable? What can we do to maybe not for you, but for anybody out there? What can we do?
Well, I mean, I think mandatory pictures of Justin in his underwear would be hard.
You're gonna have to pay for them, man. If you want them that bad, you ain't getting them for free.
Okay,
yeah, so
wait,
an OnlyFans account is what you're saying.
No, you stole my line. You stole my line, you son of a gun.
Hey, man, times are tough. I gotta make money somehow.
So he's not making six figures. You lied to me, little squirt. Oh man, Eric, I don't know. That's such a difficult question. If I think of something, I will let you know. But right now, I enjoy the process. I enjoy the routine of it. Gives me something to look forward to. I think one of the things that we all kind of cherish about it, if that's not too emotional of a word, is why do I love sim racing? Because for an hour a day, I am not a 44-year-old husband and father of four and entrepreneur and business owner and paying the bills and fixing the plumbing and doing all the things, shoveling snow now here in New York. I am just 16 again. And it's me and the road and it's a bunch of guys who all have this synergy around stuff that we're passionate about. And it's C.S. Lewis, the famous writer, had once described friendship as meeting someone else along the journey of life, looking at them and saying, "Oh, you too?" And I think that's what we find on the track. And so I guess maybe what I would say is just don't screw this up.
Lots of pressure, man. Lots of pressure.
You got a really good thing.
That's a vote of confidence right there.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it, man, and we appreciate you being a part of it, and obviously the passion that you have shows in the chats, and we appreciate the way that you continue to keep yourself involved, and we love it, man. So thanks again for being a member, and hope you truly are here forever.
Thanks, Eric. My pleasure, and thanks for having me, guys. It's been a blast. I am here for the long haul. You're stuck with me and my underwear.
Appreciate you, Chris.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on, Chris.
Have a good night, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Yeah,
He's such a
good
likable
poll,
dude.
man. Yeah, very fun, conversation.
He's just so like energetic, humble, just down to earth. Just as I've gotten to know him just from him being a member here, it's guys like him and our other members that you know they make our league, right? If it was just us here, it wouldn't be too much fun every week signing up for races, and to everybody. Um, we personally want to thank you guys for sticking with us and supporting our league and continuing to run and sign up after season.
Sure, for sure.
I don't think we got a definite answer on him running an oval, though. Did he make a commitment, or did he kind of dodge the question?
He dances around it a little bit.
All right, it's not just me.
No, yeah, I didn't catch it. I wanted to slip in there. Oh, you liked the Cup car Watkins Glen? You should try turning left, but I just didn't get it in.
Yeah. Up, guys. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our truck segment, and we'll go ahead and just start to wrap up the podcast for the night. So, winner for the Brands Hatch race is the 11 truck of Dustin Reinstettel. From what I could see from that race, it looked like a lot of slipping and sliding. Thaler brothers, you guys were in it. Is that basically what was par for the course for the night?
Yeah, it was. That track's always been difficult. Obviously, when you're trying to drive a boat with front steering around a around a racetrack. So um, that's a slick track, and with the added uh, you know the truck's ability to be light in the rear, obviously adds a different immersion to it. So that is one that's been challenging. We've been there a few times, I think, in the truck series, and this one was I don't know, just seemed extra slick Friday night. Justin, you were fast, and it just seemed like if you made one tiny mistake, it was for the worst.
Yeah, compared to last year, I definitely feel like the rears lost grip way quicker. I after my first stop, like I just didn't. They were just all over the place. So I feel like the tires were you could only be really quick about for 3 laps. I feel like after they were fresh, and then after that, I feel like the pace really fell off like 2 seconds or so. There was just. I mean, you have to be real delicate, like you said, with your throttle inputs and stuff. But for some reason, it just everything seems amplified. So yeah, pretty much every problem I had, I was either in the sand or off track, and um, those last couple laps when I was chasing you down, and I almost got to you there, with a couple corners to go, and just lit them up too much, and it totally just spun the truck right around. But um, I don't know. It was a fun race. Wasn't the result I was looking for, and the incidents I had wasn't, certainly anything I was looking to do. But it is what it is. On to the next one. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure. I think ultimately, and I think he did the same. I tried to make up some time by not taking a set of tires at the second stage pit stop or leading into the second stage, and I think it kind of made things worse for me. But I lost a lot of time there in stage 2.
Yeah. But, James, was there anything you seen with the Brands Hatch race?
I thought it was a great race. There were a lot of slipping and sliding. You could tell who had turned laps before and who hadn't. I do want to apologize to everybody that was hoping to watch the replay. For some reason, the Twitch download did not capture the whole race. It missed probably the last 10 or 15 laps, which I thought was some of the best racing between Eric and Justin. You guys were having a killer race. And I don't want to say Justin was hunting you down, Eric, but he was reeling you in little by little and coming up right on a lapper with 2 to go, and then just mistimed the gap, the slowdown on the entry to Sheen. But no, it was a great race, and yeah, I'm glad it's on the schedule. It's definitely was a test. And one of the things that Dustin said in the post-race interview with his win was that he did take tires every single opportunity he could, and it helped him on the braking on the way into the corner to the apex a lot more, and helped him control it on the way out because he was set up a lot better on his entry. So I agree with what you said, Eric, about taking tires every time might have been the difference in second and third. But Brandon Thayer got around Justin after he spun, so Justin ended up fourth. Shout out to Brandon Thayer for sticking with it and holding his own and getting third.
Yeah, we were talking about last week. Some of those newcomers are getting pretty quick. We'll touch on one of them here in a few minutes. So, truck
next week.
Yeah, yep.
Kansas next week.
Points I'm going to touch on real quick. Eric in the lead currently. Dustin Reinstedel, second place, 18 points behind. Brandon Thayer, third place, 28 points behind the leader. Justin Thaler, 29 points behind the leader in fourth place. And Sean Happick, 36 points behind the leader in fifth place. Overall bonus points here for the season. Eric Thaler has 91 bonus points. Dustin close in second there with 89 bonus points. Albert Williams is in third with 41 bonus points. And Michael Scamilla fourth, 39, and Justin Thaler fifth with 31. The top two there pretty tight, I'd say, with the bonus points. Leading into Kansas, it's going to be a quick track. I'm interested in seeing how that oval refresh affects these trucks and whether the tires burn off pretty quick going into those corners, or if we will see a difference. You guys have any thoughts on the truck series going to Kansas?
Honestly, no. I am excited because it is a multi-groove racing track. Only thing that I'm worried about there is it is very aero dependent and mostly wide open. So it's going to be interesting to see what the tire wear is going to be. You know, if it's going to cause us to tend to get into a tire saving mode or whatnot. But we'll see what happens. Definitely is someplace that I'm looking forward to because I do like running a wall. So we'll see what happens.
Worse. All right. We're going to go ahead and move on to the Xfinity Series, which was at Mosport or Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Brandon Thayer won that race. I unfortunately did not get to watch any of that race. I'm going to have to lean on you guys to know how exactly that one went. Eric, I believe, were you running race control in that race, or did you actually participate?
Yeah, no, I was running race control. It was a decent race. We had Dustin was out front for a while, led some laps, and couldn't quite get it down to the end there. But Thayer come out victorious. But seemed to be pretty respectful race. Fairly clean and whatnot, and Mosport can be a little definitely is detailed in your steering input and whatnot, because it does have some tight turns and things, and obviously really isn't made for that car like any of these tracks we were at this weekend. So it was a lot of fun to see those Xfinity guys wheel around that place.
For sure. We're going to go ahead and go into Xfinity points for the season. Dustin in first place. He's leading Michael Scamilla there. Scamia in second, 65 points behind. Drew Alvarez in third, 90 points behind the leader. Corbin Fleckenstein, 102 points in fourth place behind the leader. And Clarence Prince, 114 points behind the leader in fifth. Those points can be made up if Dustin has a bad race or two going down the stretch here. But he does have a pretty big lead there. We're going to go ahead and look at the bonus points for the season. So the bonus points are as follows. Dustin Reinstedel in first with 80 bonus points. Michael Scamia in second with 44. Robert Williams third, 38. Brandon Morris fourth, 36. And Brandon Thayer fifth with 32. He's almost got a double points lead there on Scamia. Dustin does.
Yeah,
It's
it's
going to be an
gonna be
interesting.
yeah. Same thing I was gonna say. Gonna be interesting to see what
Yeah.
pans out here.
Exactly. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to Cup for the weekend, which was that's in Japan, right, Motegi?
Yep,
Mhm.
Twin Ring Motegi.
I tell you what, and I'm just gonna be honest here. I would be okay with not going back there next year.
Yeah, I'll second that.
I thought you did
That
good,
was
Ant. You were running up front all
oh
night.
man, if you could see my tires or hear my tires, they would have been singing and singing and singing because it was over for them. But
How
it
about-
was a tough race. Go
It
ahead, Jay.
was. How about the Monza Oval next season for a international?
Oh,
James knows.
That would be incredible. I would love to see it. Talk about variable banking. I've never even seen a modern car do any laps on that track. It's like a test track with almost 90-degree banking. It seems straight up.
yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
It's Twin Ring. I don't know. I could drop it, not be upset about it. Wink, wink.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was.
Agreed.
Go ahead, Eric. You first.
Well, it was just it was very challenging. We did have two sets of tires, so we had to manage that. You do have two turns that are quite different on entry and exit. One's tighter than the other. You had one and two you could basically roll through, but 3 and 4 you were getting on the brake to get it down to the apex and whatnot. So it's hard to pass. It's fast. So it did kind of as much as I didn't like it, it did unveil good racing. But from a spectator standpoint or whatnot, James, I guess what's your opinion?
Yeah, from the outside looking in, first of all, I got to give a shout out to my boy Aaron Holroyd. We were both pretty excited about this race. We had done a little bit of research, watched some YouTube of previous races in real life, so we kind of didn't know what to expect. But compared to the real world stuff, it was pretty realistic. I will say that with 15 Cup cars, there were a lot of long run races, so it really played out more of a strategy and a tire fall off race as opposed to a raw speed single lap. But with that being said, 1 and 2 qualifying ended up being 1 and 2, and the finish only the other way around. And it really came down to the last 30 laps. You get about 30 laps on a tank. So after about 30 laps, or with 30 laps to go, Aaron and I were just on the edge of our seat watching to find out who was where. And the top 5 were all within like 1 or 2 seconds of each other. And with 10 or 15 laps, it really came down to whoever came in first and then managed their tires over that stint versus current speed they had. Because with only 15 cars, there was enough space that almost everybody was in clean air until you caught up to somebody. And then it was about changing your line. But Eric, I saw you dropping down to third gear a couple of times and really pulling off the corners and reeling in on the guy in front of you, making up a lot of lap time, shifting down to third. I don't know if that meant it burned more fuel and also more tires or what, but man, Dustin and Albert Williams down at the end, it was absolutely incredible. I think Dustin came in first, and Albert Williams stayed out for 5 or 6 laps and then came in. And that 5 or 6 laps fresher tires in the long run, being as smooth and consistent as he is, he was able to pass Dustin just on the tire advantage alone. Their pit stop was exactly the same, down to the 1,000th or 5,000ths of a second. So half of a tenth of a second is the only difference in time stopped in pit lane. So from the outside looking in, man, me and Aaron were going crazy, especially for Ty Williams to get his first win in the Midwest Motorsports League after being here for so long and trying in multiple different series. He was pretty happy in the interview, and we asked him a lot of questions. We probably went long on the stream, and but man, it was a lot of fun to hear his excitement about his first win in the league.
That's great. I'm happy he was able to get it, considering everything that happened Friday night. And, that's our driver's time, for our winners. And I'm quite all right with it if it goes long. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to call. So again, me and Aaron are looking forward to the next race at Kansas. All 3 series are at Kansas. So look out. It's going to be wide open. Hopefully we'll get some more long runs in, even with the truck, since there's multiple lanes. Hopefully we'll be able to get more than 10 or 15 laps in a green flag run all across the series.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I feel like we kind of willed Albert Williams into that win the way we were talking last week. So
he earned it. Well, I mean, you got to give him credit. He earned it.
Oh no, of course. We but I'm thinking we kind of seen that one coming with the speed he's been having throughout the weeks.
Yeah, I'd
it's
agree.
Just a matter of time.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go into the cup points here. Eric, you're in the lead, man. 407 points total. Justin's right on your heels, 10 points behind in second. Dustin, third place, 24 points behind. I'm in fourth, 81 points behind. Our man Norm, the grandfather of the league, 90 points behind in fifth place. That guy, he goes out there, he runs a clean race and keeps it clean, and he's just putting down points.
Yep, for sure. That's what it takes.
Yeah, exactly. Turning clean laps. We're going to go transition to the chase points next. And Dustin has 86 points total. Eric, you have 62. Justin, 59. Albert Williams with 41. And Jason Huffman with 28. Those are our top 5 in the chase points. Those points be carried over as bonus points when the chase starts. So, in our closing segment here, guys, you guys have anything to look forward to with Kansas between the 3 series or anything on Nürburgring?
Try and survive across the board. That's all I got.
Yeah. Definitely curious, like you said earlier, Ant, like what the update's going to do to the car there. Have seen some little differences here and there in the Cup car from the update in the previous tracks we've run. So, we'll see what Kansas prevails.
Yeah. I want to echo that. The Cup cars never used to wear tires, and I can tell you my tires were screaming when I took them off at Twin Ring. So they did change something.
Yeah.
I see 23 trucks signed in so far, so Kansas is not going to be one you're going to want to miss. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, everybody, spectators, racers, anybody joined in tonight, get yourself some rest for the upcoming week. We got Nürburgring tomorrow, and then going into the weekend, everybody's at Kansas. So, again, thanks everybody for your participation in the league. Without you guys, we wouldn't have the turnout or the fun that we have whenever we race. And this all wouldn't happen without y'all. Guys, you want to close it out?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to echo that. Thanks for everybody out there that joins. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for what you guys do. Appreciate it. See you next week.
Let's go racing. Don't forget to stay in your lane. Thanks again, Ant, Justin, and Eric. Enjoy the cool down lap. And Monday nights, 9 p.m. Tell your friends.